Welcome back. It is the final day. I hope you're not sad about it. We've got a lot to cover. It is going to be tips, techniques, all of the essentials here on the final day into our little adventure here on our reboot camp. Let me see if I can find the proper window here and we will get started. All right, so final day of the Algobox Academy. Don't forget, at the very beginning of our little endeavor here, we talked about the questions that you need to be able to answer, and now is going to be the time for you to pull those out, and you should be able to answer all of those questions after this evening. Now, you're probably pretty close to being able to answer all of them, but we want to come down here into the tests and quizzes section. We finished up day 7 yesterday, so we've got a 1-week boot camp that you've completed. If you finished out those 7 days, we are now going to be talking about the final tips, techniques, and extras, putting it all together, even the final touches on things. I don't want to belabor the point here on it. Let's go straight into those here tonight. I'm going to quickly rehash where we've been, what we've done, and what we're going to cover here tonight. So here's where we are in the documentation section. We have covered all of these. This is now the final day. After day 7, we're coming in here to finalize the essential tips and techniques area inside of our documentation. Remember, we started up here in the getting started area. Don't forget about the beginner's course. If you are brand new with us, or if you just kind of found our video here tonight, go all the way back. If you've never traded before, we've got an Algobox beginner's course here for you, and you can read through all of that. We don't focus in a whole lot on the absolute beginner. I'm not going to tell you what a futures contract is, how to press the button, long, short, basic types of stuff here. We focus on, once you already know those things, the algorithmic trading components, how to give you edge with algorithmic trading, combining the best of human and machine. So tonight, first topic that I want to cover is in the essential tips and techniques. We have covered this several times on all of our strategy entries already, where the stops go on all of our entries. Now, there are 4 types. We've got the box, the dot, and the cross. Those are the primary 3, and on occasion, we will find a triangle. So let's go through the examples on those. Algobox offers 4 types of stop losses. I won't read it again there. For bullish scenarios, stop losses are ideally placed behind, under one of these objects, and of course, in the reverse on the bearish side. Box refers to PRZ boxes of auto-harmonic patterns. Let's go and take a peek at some of those. So on a harmonic pattern, we draw the PRZs are boxes. So this would be considered a box stop. So a stop going above a box, right? In this case, it is a red box. So our stop would be a buy-side stop over the top if I was going short. So if I'm looking for the short on a red Gartley setup like that, then my stop is going above it. And of course, I'm looking to buy back that position at a lower price point if I'm going to win the position, right? So that is an example of a box. A dot could be multiple things. Here we've got the fib dots or the FlowMaster Enigmas. Both of them are circles, right? Probably not an ellipse. Let's see if I can draw a nice circular one there. There we go. So we are looking for the Enigmas. That would be considered a dot or a Fibella dot coming into a scenario like this. All right, my terrible drawings. Let's go look at some real ones. So fib dots. Do you guys remember these from some of the beginning stuff that we talked about here today? These are double dot scenarios. So on a dot like this, again, another scenario where we are going short off of a pink dot, then my stop here is going to go right back behind the dot. Very small stop point, and usually entering in on that first Dr. Seuss red bar shift on the entry. We go blue bar to red bar shift after the pink dot that showed up. Stop goes behind the dot. So this is an example of a dot stop. We had the box, we got the dot, covered both of those. And let's look at another one. Now on the other side, if we're going to go to, I'll look at a long example here real quick. So same thing on the other side, of course, in these, we are going to be looking at an up move off of a double dot scenario. So in this, I'm going to go all the way down, and it is a dot stop, and my stops are going to go below the dot after an entry point inside of the Dr. Seuss entry on a reversal pivot. So let's go and look at an Enigma real quick. So Enigmas are like a giant dot. We've got different powers of those dots. Don't forget about that. Go back and watch those. Not covering that here tonight. We're going through the final steps of the essentials before you get rolling, right? Stop below a green dot, right? See the dot? I'm going to put it as close as I possibly can, really, to a dot on these because they have a little bit larger stop than a dot. So if I'm entering in on that Dr. Seuss entry right there where that red to blue bar shift came in, my stop is going to be behind the Enigma. And because of the adaptability of the dots and the shapes that were drawn on the chart, these are going to vary depending on the size of the bars that you're going on. So if you're wondering like, well, how many ticks is that? It varies depending on what algo bar that you are entering in on, as we've talked about on many of these. And don't forget that we're looking for that higher time frame targeting for our reward, and I'm looking for a lower time frame entry risk on our OOP, order of operations, going across our 5 time frames. Same thing other side, stops going behind a dot, in this case a red Enigma, going to the downside, and this one is going to be a buy stop right up above it. So we're looking for the short. If it comes back up above it, I'm stopping out right there. All right, so we've got the box, we covered the dot, and of course the crosses. 2 different types of crosses. We've got the white crosses, and let's look for a combo on one of these. So we got a DCR scenario right here. So on a DCR, now what do you do when they're clustered? When they're clustered together like this, it depends on the play. If you are combining it with the dot, generally, I'm basically going to put it behind whichever one is the closest. I will take the least amount of risk, and always remembering that I have the 2 try rule, which we're going to literally cover here in just a moment. We talked about it a couple times already, and if you've been in my live streams, you know how powerful that 2 try rule is. In fact, it saved us on this morning's first trade right off the bat. It is, are we at Tuesday? Yes, April 29th, 2025. The live stream from this morning was a great scenario on a 2 try rule there in the morning, and went up $700 off of that first play because of a 2 try rule. Very nice. Now, so what does that mean? My stop is on a scenario right here where I am going short and the cross is involved. That is an RTOFA event. Where does my stop go? Going right above the first cross right here. Okay, now, if you're going to put it on the second, I'm not going to fault you on it. Just remember, I am teaching you guys how I apply the system. So if I get stopped out and price ends up coming back up this way, stops me out, okay, well, if I come back through on the second one, I would rather have a very small stop out first, smaller, and then when we come back through, I can re-enter +1. Okay, and we'll go over that and when we hit the 2 try rule here in just a moment after we cover our stop bases. Okay, in a scenario like this one, we have the up move off of a cross down below, moving to the upside, going long, then my stop is going to go right underneath the cross. Make sense? And of course, same deal applies on 2 try rule, looking for the entry off of one of those. So box, dot, and cross, we covered those 3 stop types. Then the triangle, a rare scenario, these only apply on the MACV chart unless you've added them somewhere else. If you want to play with a divergence plus, so again, don't play anything alone. We have a thing in our room. If you type !alone in our public chat or premium member chat, you know we've got that rule that says trade nothing alone. We want to build confluence together. So if the triangle is a part of your entry system there, then you could put a stop back behind the triangle. Make sense? This would actually be reversed, wouldn't it? So I would have a buy stop above or a red stop below on one of our charts. Yes? Go take a look at one of those real quick. So ultimate obos divergence triangles that are going to show up on a chart, something like this. So if I were going short on this one, then my stop is going right above, right there, and I'm looking for the bottom side. On the other, same thing, stop down below for an upside move. Right? Got it? We keep things pretty simple with Algobox. We want the tools to do the work for us, and we can focus on our entries. Let me see how long. This is 12 minutes long. I'll let you guys watch this one on your own, and we won't wait through our sponsors there. We'll go ahead and skip through that. But this one, if you want to go into more details or see other examples of those stop types, there's a video there for you. It's about 12 minutes long. Let's move into our next topic here in essential tips and techniques. We've got the 2 try rule. Very important. That last one puts you to sleep because you're like, ah, boring. Stops. I get it. 2 try rule. You're not going to want to sleep through this one. This is something that you're probably going to have to practice, because the 2-try rule applies to each strategy a little bit differently. And you pick your 3 or 4 strategies as you're going into our training, going straight into our training program and doing sim. You're going to want to know your strategy and how to apply the 2-try rule. For example, a double cross, double move is going to be different than a reentry on a dot when things are using 2 items that are close together, things of that nature. So you'll want to see a lot of examples of those. Tonight, I'm not going to go over a ton of examples here on those, but every strategy, if you go through where we went through all the strategies up above in the strategies section, we'll know where the entry points are, and the 2-try re-entry is going to be based on the strategy that you entered in on. So I don't think that's too confusing for you, but if you have any questions on any of them specifically, do let me know. Let's see, someone said, can someone tell me what those little red and green circles come from on the crosses? Yes, we did briefly mention that in that section, but I'll go over that right now. Let me add the super chat here to our screens so it'll be easier to address those questions. Thank you for the question there, Kenneth. So let's come back to the crosses here real quick. So we have the white crosses, and what he's asking about are the buy supply and sell supply texts and colors. So let me pull over a live chart over here. So this is an entry chart Ripple A chart here, and I'm going to right click and go to indicators, or you can hit Control I for your shortcut to go into your indicators list. So this will show us all of the active indicators on this chart right here. And so I'm going to go into the FlowMaster Crosses, and inside here we have the show supply color and show supply text. These are the 2 that you are asking about on the red and green. And if you watch in the live streams, you'll notice I do not have these turned on. A couple of reasons for that, mainly to avoid confusion for the new folks who are coming into our system. A lot of people are used to coming from places where they see a single signal and it's like, well, wait a minute, that was a green cross, so therefore it means long. And it's perfectly logical to think that. But on the crosses particularly, this is even more so, I don't want to say difficult, but less intuitive, because of the fact that we are dealing with retail. We are giving our best guess at the direction of retail. So let me ask, if we know that 90% of traders lose 90% of their money in 90 days or less, the 90-90-90 rule for failing traders, then do we want to be on sides with the retail very often? No, I don't think so. 90% of the time we want to be on the opposite side. So we want to do the opposite of what the color is, and that is not intuitive for most people. So when I'm on a live stream, I don't have these turned on, but if you want to have these turned on and it gives you additional information, especially on the 2s, let me kind of give you, since we're talking about tips here tonight, pro tip. On the AB2s, this information is really, really good. There are going to be places in there where you can, if you turned on the color codings here, and by the way, you can just do a color or you can do text. So if you want the, literally will say buy supply text. I think it looks neat with the text on. So if I'm going to do a color, I'm going to go ahead and do the text. They basically go hand in hand. But if you don't want the text and you just want the color, you can do that. AB2s. Man, if you want to trade against retail, you can go run a back test on this, and every time the cross shows a green, if you were to go short, and if every time it went red, you went long, and then kind of see if you were to make even just the slightest amount of adjustment to your sizing. I think you'll see what I'm talking about. Trading against retail, that can help you with the bias on the colors. He said no. He was talking about, do you want to be on sides of the retail? Yeah, so that's a great question. Thank you for bringing that up there. If I didn't cover that thoroughly enough, hopefully I got a little bit more coverage on that for the crosses. It does have that option. And in general, on the live streams, you'll notice mine are not turned on. But if I did turn them on, so here you can see my crosses are just purely white. So let me go ahead and turn those on and show you what that would look like. I'll go turn on supply color and supply text. And I'm going to hit apply. What color is that? red, and it says retail, our best guess. And remember, we cannot guarantee that's what's there because there are different nuances to what's going on at any different level. And the way that I am reading and interpreting the time and sales, you know, it's not a perfect science, but it's a artistic science. Does that make sense? My best guess is that they hit short here, retail hit sell here, they sold again here, and they sold again here. Were they right? You see what I'm saying? Like, this is a very large move up and out of that area. So, you know, go back and back test that and see for yourself. If you want to use that as part of your trading strategy, go for it. But that moved up and at 76 ticks against multiple retail to the short side. Does that make sense? Now up top here, it looks to me like retail just went long. Do you see what happens? Right? Like, oh, retail is getting long here. It looks like a big straight leg. Okay, they're trying to catch it. Late Nate jumps in. You know, we've joked about and talked about Late Nate a lot, especially in our live streams. Who's Late Nate? He's the last guy to press the button. We've all been there. We've all been Late Nate at some point in our career. Oh, you know, you're the last guy in, and yeah, it doesn't go a single tick your way, and we end up going back the other way. So that's the difference between the ones with buy supply on, and here's what it looks like with them off. Make sense? Now remember, I usually don't take anything alone. That's why I say generally I'm not trading anything alone, but remember the three wise men? The three wise men strategy is one where this can really come in handy right here. Under strategies, going to the three wise men right here, knowing what that color is can be very powerful, especially especially on the twos when you get even a more significant, but I don't want to say more significant because sometimes it can be wrong. Like, for example, it can throw you off when you see, like, I've got a concept where I say tops of the crowns, we're going down. If we're in the valley, we're going to rally, right? Remember those rhymes that I teach you? Well, if those are going against, if the colors are going against that theory, it can kind of mess you up on that as well. So if you have spent a lot of time with them and studied them a lot and studied traps, once you are very comfortable with traps, which we talked about a lot in the strategy section here, I know it's kind of rehashed, but hopefully it's fresh on your mind. If you watched video 7 right before this one, it should be fresh on your mind. We just covered that. So by the way, if you're just coming into this right now and you're like, what is this? This is boring, whatever, go back a few and watch days 1 through 7, sessions 1 through 7. This is kind of our final cleanup here tonight, doing the finale, rolling everything in. There are some key essentials here, like our 2-try rule that we want to cover here tonight. We'll talk about different trader funding programs and commission structures on brokers and the differences between discount brokers and standard full retail brokers and all that fun stuff here tonight as well. PC performance, screenshotting utilities, Dr. Seuss entry technique. We will cover this. We don't even have a section on this yet, but I do this a lot in live streams and we talk about it. It's fairly simple, but then when you are working through a position, you can really maximize your plays, and I'm going to try to show some examples of that or point you to some live streams where you can watch me do that to increase the size of your P&L. Where a normal trade might be a couple $100, it could be a couple of thousand if you're working it well with a Dr. Seuss. 2-try rule, guideline or rule, your trading is up to you. So everything I talk about is standard operating procedures. So standard, SOP, not a rule, okay? Although it's called the 2-try rule, I don't like to use the word rule because rule makes it sound like it must be this and it must be that. It's called the 2-try rule just because it's shorter than saying the 2-try standard operating procedure. Okay, so bear with me on that. Guideline rule, trading's up to you. The 2-try rule is a name for an optional concept that states that you may potentially re-enter a trade that has triggered your stop loss. You may consider a +1 contract increase in position size of the first attempt. So what does that mean? +1. I talk about this a lot in our live streams. A +1 concept is simply that while I am going through my series of trades, and if I've gone through trades 1, 2, and 3, and if I have just hit a loss, I want to +1 in the next. What does that mean? It doesn't matter what contract count I've got right here, just don't do the same. Okay, so if I did 1 contract, I got to do at least +1. So I have to at least do 2. Now, if I want to do 3 or 4, it's fine. As long as it's bigger than the first one in front of it. For me, again, you do not have to do this. This is not necessary. Remember, this is standard operating procedures for me. If you see how I play, this is what I do. Okay. Poker players do not always play the ante. For all the people who are like, well, you need to try the same size every single time. Why? brokies are the ones who say that. Okay, no offense to the brokies, but you need to keep your Twitter ideas to yourself. All right. Increasing your trade size, +1. The concept of +1 is as long as you're increasing your size, for me, I'm good. So if I am in 2 here, as long as I'm a +1, I go to 3, fine. Oftentimes, if I'm a 2 in the last one, the next one, I'm probably going to go 4, right? I generally am adding 2. My +1 is more like a +2, just generally speaking. But it's the idea when you'll hear me say things like increase my trade size from trades 1 through 5. You'll hear me say that over and over. I increase my trade size from trades 1 through 5. I increase my trade size from trades 1 through 5. As I'm progressing this way, if I hit a snag, I'm looking to increase the size. So on a 2-try rule, it's a +1 rule almost every single time. If I got in 3 contracts the first time, the next one I want to go 4, etc. Second try does not count as an additional trade. I mentioned that there this morning. I just counted my first one as a 1. Some people, if you want to trade it, if you want to count it as 2, totally fine. Totally get it, but generally, I don't. Ideally, there would be more factors of confluence on the second try, such as FlowMaster Audiobox. That actually helped me out this morning. I waited in. I was like listening. I was like, oh, I'm listening for Audiobox. And then it came with me. I was like, sweet. That helped me out there on the FlowMaster Audiobox. This is almost picture perfect here for today. If you're going to go back and watch today's live stream, it was April 29th, 2025 live stream. Go check that one out. First trade of the day. So it should be easy for you to find as well on the Vinny Emini YouTube channel. Click on live right here. And then you can go to the dates. Here's us right here watching our final date right here. And there it is, 58:59 there today. And yeah, 5 hours ago. That was a good run. Let's play this. This should be a quick little video here, right?
First attempt, trade enter for the shark harmonic, but price hits stop loss. Second attempt, consider re-entering at the shark harmonic pattern entry with +1 contract or more, based on experience and confluence. Confluence factors. Look for FlowMaster Audiobox, Delta Flush, Cluster Reversal, etc. Retry with logic, not emotion. Use confluence for smarter second attempts. Thanks for watching it. I'll see you in the next video.
All right, so that should be your reminder video. If you need to go and rehash that, here is a more in-depth one if you want to go through all those, and particularly around the double cross, double move retry. If you're a DCDM player, make sure you go and watch this video here. It is boot camp, so I'm going to move on. We are here to move things as quickly as possible to get you up to speed as quickly as possible. We covered this concept a lot throughout the 7 training days. We are talking about recency is key. I write this so often, it feels like it should be a short key on my keyboard when I am in live streams with you guys. Recency is key. Whatever the most recent is, if there is a conflicting piece of information on the tape and you're asking me, what should I do? Yeah, I got a green, Vinny, and then I got a red that showed up right back behind it. What do? I will refer you to recency is key. The most recent one is where I'm going to run, okay? And oftentimes you will see that play out. First one comes up, boom, wreck back the other way. This is why you got to be on your toes, especially if you're in on dot scenarios, even enigmas. I had one today. It's another great example from today. I think it was trade number 3. I had enigma long, I'm in long, and then it whipped back around. I was actually wanting to close out, and I did. And then immediately here comes another enigma red in the same spot. We had a GLR right at it, so I wanted to go back the other way. Boom, a red enigma, auto entered me in back the other way. It was awesome. Targets filled very quickly on that one, and it was a scenario just like this, except it was enigma green into a, yeah, not this close. It was farther away. It was about maybe 15 to 18 ticks away. Straight up leg into it, and then a big red enigma showed up, and it went back the other way with some other confluence like the GLR right back behind it. So what does it simply mean? It means that whichever one is the most recent matters. Okay, so if the first one was green, the next one's red, guess what we're going? Red. Makes sense? Recency is key. Just keep that in mind on all things. Here's kind of the scenario that happened earlier today. At the long side, I had the GLRs back behind it, which made it a lot easier for me to know I could take that reversal. GLR, I think they were almost kind of touching the enigma as it hit, and then boom, beautiful dropout there this morning. Here is one inverted where we had the red into green. Recency is key. So which one is more recent? So this was older, right? And this is the most recent one. Showed up. Boom. I'm looking for the long side off of recency is key. With harmonics, same thing. Red, go to green. Which one? Oh, I don't know. Should I go short? Should I go long? Now, of course, most of the time, I don't want to be confused by those. In fact, I'm looking for the nerd and the arrow first. Okay, so that should confirm my bias. And so it should avoid you from situations where you actually get flip-flopped on these because you're like, oh, what's going to happen if I get flip-flopped? Hopefully you're not getting flip-flopped. In fact, if let's say that you are in a green because we are looking at the nerd is long and the arrow is long on both of those two. So the nerd and the arrow. So you got step 1 and step 2. So you're ready for your entry. And there was a cross in here. Hopefully you're not just doing a Gartley by itself, but you got a PRZ cross here and you get long. Awesome. Now, just because this red shows up does not mean you got to go short. This simply means that, oh, okay, I got to close it out. Like I need to respect the fact that, okay, I've got an opposing signal coming in. And what does our runner play anyhow? Hold to the opposing signal, which we are about to come up on and talk about as well. Here is the recency is key. Let's go through it.
We're covering why recency is key in trading and how the most recent signals can guide your decisions. Let's start with fib LE. In this example, a bullish fib LE is followed by a bearish fib LE, and as you can see, the price drops immediately after the bearish signal. This shows how the most recent signal often has the strongest impact. Next up, we have FlowMaster Alpha Omega. A green alpha is followed by a red omega, and even though the alpha was bullish, the omega signal overrides it, causing the price to drop. This demonstrates how the latest signal takes precedence in price movement. Here's an example with FlowMaster Enigma. The red Enigma is followed by a much more recent green Enigma, which shifts the trend upwards. The most recent signal is what ultimately determines the trend. Lastly, let's look at harmonic patterns. The most recent red cipher pattern signals a downward movement, while the green Gartley pattern that follows causes a price reversal. The most recent harmonic pattern often dictates the next price move. The most recent signal is key to making informed trading decisions. Whether it's fib LE, FlowMaster signals, or harmonic patterns, always pay attention to the latest trend. Thanks for watching.
I saw we had a question here. Someone asked, what is the GLR? That stands for the gold line reversal. You need to go back into our training camp area and make sure you know what the GLR is. Gold line reversal. So this will apply anytime I'm using the F8 tool for looking for double move projections. It can be in several scenarios. The most common one is a double cross, double move, right? DCDM. Hopefully you know what that stands for. Double cross, double move. And on a double cross, double move, I am looking for the reversal at the GLR that we're referring to there, gold line reversal. And those will auto draw for you on DCDMs. But if you hand draw them with using the F8 tool, you know, there can be various situations where you might need to use the F8 tool. Then you might want to use that and look for that GLR. And at a GLR, I'm generally going to be able to, it's literally what it says, gold line reversal. I'm looking for a quick reversal off of that. Typically, I'm looking for a 10 bag minimum. So, and almost always, like I'm just basically getting a T1, just like a quick snag bag, generally off of a GLR. And we talk about that a lot in those videos. So go back and definitely check that out. Hold to the opposing signal concept. You probably know what this means, but if you don't, it's okay. We're going to go over it right now. So hold to the opposing signal. I am looking for the opposing color. So if I am in long with a green and I'm holding through on a runner, I am going to look for the next red for my runner. In general, this is a runner concept, holding to the opposing signal on runners. Make sense? All right, hold the opposing signal means leaving the trade position open until an opposing signal appears. For example, if you enter a trade with a FlowMaster Enigma, you hold the position until a red Enigma appears. Now, this isn't exactly true. It can be any other color. I want to be very clear on that. That's not exactly the proper information there. We'll probably need to update this one, Eddie. It can be, remember, it can be any opposing signal. So if I enter in on a green Enigma, can I exit on a on a red, so let's do this scenario here. We enter on a green Enigma going long, and I exit when I see a red PRZ from like a cipher. Yes. So I might be going T1, T2. First one on an Enigma is a 20 tick target. But if I'm holding on to a runner, because I've got Audiobox kick in, and I've got both the nerd and the arrow with me, and I'm holding to the opposing signal, I'm going to hold all the way to an opposing signal. It doesn't matter what shows up. It can be a red dot. It can be a red cipher. It can be anything. Okay, so do not think that they have to be the same. It doesn't have to be Enigma to Enigma. In this case here, we've got a red dot, and yes, the opposite color of that is a green or a blue. And that's, you know, here for the example, it can be, I could enter in on an Enigma green here, and if a pink dot shows up, I can exit right there for my hold to the opposing signal. Everybody follow that? It is hold to the opposing signal. Doesn't have to be the same. Of an opposing color. That's it. Okay. Red to blue. You probably get those pretty easy, straightforward. Green, hold to the opposing signal. Entering in on a red PRZ power cross. Exit on a green 14. No problem. Okay. All these examples are ones where they are matching, but they do not have to be matching. A lot of examples around this. We got a lot to cover, so I'm going to go ahead and move forward. Talk about the small account challenge. So I did a small account challenge against Ross Cameron several summers ago. And if you want to watch me trade a small account, it's one of the only times that I've ever done such a small account, going down to starting with 2,500 just to prove out that we could do it. You know, I'm not, people are always like, well, why don't you do it again, Vinny? Because it's like wasting your time. No offense, but it is. It's wasting your time. Now, going against some big dog like Ross Cameron, that's not necessarily a waste of my time. You know, I'm going to, when I get the chance to rub it in, you know, I don't, look, I love Ross. Ross is a nice guy, okay? And people are great. But don't pretend like you got a better system than we have, okay? You don't have Algobox, and, you know, we destroyed him in that trading contest. But we both started with 2,500. He did okay in the contest, but we beat him by a monstrosity. So you might want to go check out that series of videos. Live streamed those every single day throughout the trading competition. So if you want to go check that out, if you're like, okay, well, how would I grow a small account? It is different. And I talk about it at the very beginning of the trading competition. I talk about the difficulties of going, I feel like I'm trading with my back up against the wall. I don't have a cushion there on my first sets of trades. I got to have really good trades. I want to launch off of that wall, get as far away from that wall as I can. And it's a different feeling. And it's the same thing if you're doing a trader funding program. I feel like when you got that trailing stop riding on your back and you need to press forward, I kind of feel like it's the same thing. So go watch the small account challenge, listen to the first sets of days where I'm talking about the psychological components, and I have to be more disciplined. I have to wait. I got to really wait. I can't afford to have the first sets of trades go red. And if I do, if one of those goes red on any one of those, well, I can no longer trade 5 contracts. We're going to talk about that when we deal with margins generally for discount brokers, and I talk about all this in the small account challenge. And again, because this is a reboot camp, I'm not going into super detail on a lot of this, but I'm going to cover the concepts overall so you know you understand them. If it's something that you get and you're like, okay, I got a light bulb, it clicks with me, fantastic. If you need to go deeper, get into those first series of videos. Okay, so with $2,500, the short answer is on most discount brokers, I can trade almost all of the nerd. I cannot trade the N in the NASDAQ, but I can trade the ERD, the ES, the RTY, and the Dow for $500 per contract. So one of the very first troubles I had trading a small account challenge was that, I mean, technically, yes, on the NASDAQ, if it's $1,000 a contract for NASDAQ, I could trade 2 contracts. But the problem is what happens if I lose one of these trades? Remember I said before, I got to increase my trade size from trades 1 through 5, and I can't really size up. You're just stuck here. So what I want to do, the whole reason that I started with 2,500 to begin with, is because 2,500 allows me to trade 5 contracts with a discount broker because their margins are $500 per contract. So 2,500 divided by 5, I can trade 5 contracts. Now, doesn't mean that on my first trade I'm going to go 5 contracts. In fact, I did not. I think I went 2 or 3 contracts in that trading competition. It was July the 5th. I still remember because we came back the day after 4th of July holiday, and it was a great day to come in because the market gets really volatile after 4th of July for whatever reason. It's like fireworks. I always remember that in my head. just from a market historian standpoint, that if you want to mark down your calendar, July the 5th is a day where fireworks go off in the markets, a lot of volatility generally, and you get great opportunities, in my opinion. So it was a great day to start the competition, and we launched pretty good on my first day. I think I almost doubled the account from 2,500 to 24. I think I made 2,400 something that day, so almost doubled the account on day one, which gave me that cushion and that breathing room on day one. With 5K, now I could trade up to 10 contracts on those, and I eventually got to add the NASDAQ a few days into the competition to trade the, you know, the monstrosity and the major mover there of the NASDAQ. When I say my account minimum, and people ask me, Vinny, what's the absolute minimum that I could trade? I will always say, for me, I'm going to go absolute minimum, back against the wall, absolutely had to, smallest of smallest of small. You're absolutely asking me what is the lowest. And again, I do not know why. I mean, I do. I know why people want the low, like, what's the absolute lowest? I know why, but that's not, I would not do that. It's like saying, what is the absolute cheapest car that I can get? Is anybody in here driving the absolute cheapest car they can get? Anybody? I mean, it can happen, but you know there's dangers with that, right? It might ride on the road, but it might fall apart. It might break. It might, you know, people are going to look at you weird. There's this stuff that is a disadvantage of being in the lowest and smallest thing that you can get into. Now, you know, there's a whole psychological part around that. So I would definitely recommend go watching the first set of videos around the small account challenge, see how I prepared for it, talk about all of the things like what I'm talking about now is the difficulty of pushing off of that back wall. Got to make sure it's a really great trade right off the bat. Got to close it quick if it doesn't work. You got to be, you know, really out. Got to really have a play set up that's going to go your way. So is why I was really looking for that trap and a double cross double move for my first play. I already mentally had it in my head that I wanted that. Now back then I didn't even have Enigma back then. So you might, something else you might want to check out, says that's, you know, been a few years now. Didn't have the Enigma. Don't think we had FlowMaster Alpha Omega Crosses yet. Definitely didn't have the Dream Panel. Definitely didn't have Ready DDs in vertical format. We did, you know, the concept had been there. But a lot of things, I don't even know that we had SMLK timings on Full Auto yet. No, I think we had timing lines. But you want to see a hindered version of me doing a $2,500 account, go watch the growth on that one and hear those first series of days. I used to tell people, like, watch the whole thing, and I think it's still good. If you got the time for it, I think it might be interesting to you. But we've got way more powerful tools now. So some of the things that I used to do, I may not have to do, or you're like, why isn't he just waiting on a, I don't know, like, where's the nerd plus the arrow thing? And McAfee Ultimate, I don't think was there. Audiobox, I remember wasn't on local yet. Audiobox was being pumped through Discord. You guys remember those days when you'd go into the room inside of Discord to listen into the Audiobox queue? I'm not going to go nostalgic for it and be like, oh, I miss those days. No, I don't. No, I do not. I don't miss those days. It's so much better having it local. Okay, so to follow along with the small account challenge, you might want to do that. You can actually get the small account challenge data. We actually have that for you if you want to go download it. It is available under the, so if you hear the SAC around here, we're referring to the small account challenge, SAC, small account challenge replay data. And then there's information along with that and some links to get you straight into the small account challenge as well on the left-hand side of Discord if you wanted to follow along. So a lot of people would like to go, you know what, let me try this. I'm going to start with $2,500 maybe sim account and practice that along with me. See if you take the same plays that I take, or, you know, watch me play a play and see if you can do the same plays. There can be a really good opportunity to do that. Now, you can do that with any of my live streams. I hope y'all know that, right? I keep hearing people all the time be like, well, I got to do the small account challenge to be able to follow you, Vinny. And I'm like, you can take any of my live streams and go to that date. You can look at the date that the live stream is on, and you can trade along with me anytime. You don't have to go back to the small account challenge. Does everybody understand that? Type of 1, if you know what I mean, and help somebody else if they're like, oh, I heard I got to do the small account challenge. Yeah, I mean, that rumor goes around, but I do think you're kind of at a disadvantage in that there are tools that we have available now that I didn't have back then. I would do way better in the challenge today. You come against me today, like, I will destroy you like tenfold what we did before, probably. So small account challenge, there is a video right there for the tutorial on how to set up that market replay data. But if you wanted to see, you know, every single day back to back to back, start with a small account, watching the difficulties at the beginning. There were red days. It wasn't like, oh, I had every single day was a winter day. You can see the end of it when we go through the whole summary of that. However you want to apply that, but there is a small account challenge you might want to go check out with a multi-level series. Did I say multi-level? Multi-live stream series around that. If I come in here and type in small account. So a lot of the thumbnails kind of look like this, and you'll see, the day number on it and the P&L on that day, and go all the way back. So there's day 2. I'm not sure what order these came in when I just typed them in. There's day 1 of the small account challenge. Then for some reason day 43 is right underneath it. I don't know, maybe it's the popularity of all of them. Around was about 60 some odd days in total. Trading days around 50 or so trade days. So it's a lot of trading over multiple months. Might want to go check out that small account challenge. Any questions around that, pop them there in the chat. How can one differentiate between FlowMaster Crosses, DCDM and SCR crosses? Yeah, no, that's a great question. Let's hit in on that one here. So the question is about, I should probably just explain the SCR. So first of all, this is called the split cross reversal, and let's hit the generic components of a double cross double move first. So we have come down, formed a trap. We're starting to move up, and right about here, we might have some nice juicy crosses, and we'll also go hand in hand with our GLR. So the target on a double cross double move is the double distance from the pivot, which is the trap. This is the trap pivot, and you'll see this labeled as PP, pivot point, on a chart when this is in real time. And what we're looking for is the distance from the dot here to the center point of this area, and the double move of that to here. So the distance between these two areas, here to here, here to here, should be the same as up to the top to here. This is a standard DCDM. So when the crosses are nice and close together, there's definitely go over the videos around this. The focus being right here on double crosses being pretty close together, and that is going to be a distinguishing marker between a standard double cross double move and what I'm going to show you here in a moment as an SCR. This doesn't have to do this. I'm just going to use the same area here for this for brevity's sake. But let's say that this has continued to move up. Let me get a nice pink line here. Let's talk about a split cross reversal. So these are very close together. A split cross reversal is going to be exactly what it says. They're split. It doesn't say that they're far apart. So I guess we obviously know that they're separated. So if these are together, then I'm looking for crosses that are far apart from one another. However, it doesn't mean that I'm looking for a cross that is in the same price area. For instance, here to here. So if the distance, if you're thinking, oh, well, these are far apart, so those are a split cross. No, that's not what we're looking for. So a split cross reversal is going to be through a leg. I'm going to use the up move scenario here first. And this would be if I were to get a scenario like this. So ignore the crosses over here to the left right now. I mean, they can show up. This can happen. And you can have an SCR after a double cross double move. Can definitely happen. It happened 2 days ago, I think. No, 1 day ago. So it's Monday. I had one of those. A split cross is when you've got a nice straight leg like this, and you've got cross number 1 right here, and cross number 2 straight up above it, usually separated by a very straight leg. So the split cross reversal, this, if I saw this on a chart, if I'm looking and I'm like, oh, look at that. I'm like, oh yeah, I see an SCR potential. So split cross, I literally want to reverse this play right here. And so we are doing exactly what the name says, SCR. I'm looking for a reversal on the second cross. Standard targets, target 1, target 2, plus a runner. Now, oftentimes you'll actually see this go down to the prior cross and almost nicks it by like a tick. There's something, it's almost like there's a little invisible barrier. So if you were to draw kind of a horizontal line right out of that cross area where it first formed and fired, there's like this little barrier. It's like 1 or 2 ticks. It's almost like this weird impenetrable barrier. Like an SCR will come down to it and it won't touch that thing. Because I used to think, oh, okay, I'm going to target the prior cross. I can't tell you how many times it will like come right here, just barely a tick from hitting that cross line. I'm like, oh, it's going to get there, and then takes off. But the distance from here to here is often a nice juicy 20 ticks. This is an opportunity generally for about a 15 or 20 bagger. It's generally more than 10 ticks. But if you're behind on the entry, be careful. As I've always said, you're going to have to take your, if you're behind on an entry, doing air quotes, you were behind it, you didn't react immediately, or you had to think about it for whatever reason. You weren't Johnny on the spot and clicking the button. You need to make sure, we're going like just above that prior cross. Now, I'm not saying that it doesn't, like sometimes, yeah, it'll just keep on going down, but oftentimes it'll just halt right there. I'm going to draw a couple more lines here to draw it, make it super obvious. And it does not have to be in a little crook. It could be like right here. These could show up like this, right in the middle of a nice straight leg. The key is there is a nice juicy straight leg, and this is what an SCR looks like. Okay, so I'll call out split cross reversal on a scenario like this. I was going to type that out, but I'm like, I'm not going to type it. So the distance from here to here, remember the little barrier you want to project out. Now, if you have the horizontal lines turned on automatically, that's another feature. I don't think I ever covered that. It's another one that I didn't cover inside of the crosses. Apparently I didn't. I mean, it's in the options. If you go into the options, you'll take a look. No, I did. I covered this. You can turn these horizontal lines off or on. I have them off for the live stream. Again, another one of those. Don't want people to be confused. There's less stuff on the chart, but I actually like to have them on. But that line will already be there for you if you have horizontals turned on. So horizontals being turned on like this will look like this. Price will oftentimes do one of these, come down, and what's crazy is like literally will not touch it. It's usually like this. This happens a lot. Be careful. Do not try to hold that all the way down there, or at least, I mean, look, it will sometimes go, but what'll end up happening is even if it does come down here, it's going to do this little up move thing, and if you're going to close out on an opposing bar color, you may as well not take the heat. Just, we want to close out the position right in front of that little horizontal line, because there's like this, I swear, it's like feels like a force field barrier that just does not want to let you through. Make it an orange. Like this little force field barrier around that thing. It's like, I am not letting you through here. It's like a brick house. I'm not letting you go here. And does this so often. Touches it 2 or 3 times and ends up going like this. But this is oftentimes a nice juicy, and for this one by default, almost on all time frames, I am looking for about a 15 ticker, because I'll generally bypass the 10. It's not even going to be a T1 scenario. This is a nice 15 and a 20 bagger from the top point, and oftentimes can be a full like 25, 30 ticks in the distance. So even if I'm behind on the play, I can generally grab that juicy 20 bag. All right, you hear me say that a lot in live streams. I'm looking for a 20 bag. That's what I call a double bag. Double target one. You wait till it crosses the last cross into the short? No, man, as soon as I see it. As soon as I see it, I want to hit that. Now, oftentimes, the pro move is to wait for the Dr. Seuss, which is coming up. Is that the next one on our list? No, it's a few more to go. Does that cover the split cross reversal? I like all the sound effects. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I like to listen to them all. I know it can get crazy. The SCR, you love that one? It doxed me when I started. Yeah, we've come a long way. Don't be late, Nate. Practicing 10 times the size, 10x. So I call this the 10x rule. If you go into our chat and type !10x, a nice little video will show up there for you. This is a great way to numb yourself to the numbers. This is a pro concept. I really would go and watch the full video on this. I'm not going to be able to cover it all here. Practice trading with 10 times larger the size and account. The 10 times larger position and account size to explore your trading potential. Now we're talking about in sim. Okay, I hope everybody knows we're talking about practice. Okay, practice, sim, market replay, go to market replay. It can be inspiring to see what's possible when you push your psychological limits. We want to become numb to the numbers. Okay, that is the whole goal. Numb yourself to the numbers. When regularly trading with a small position size, it's easy to avoid taking a significant risk because the potential losses are small. However, when increasing the position size of trades, the potential losses also increase, which can cause fear and anxiety. Something happens to most people, anybody who, is unless you came from a super rich family, if you are, you worked a 9-to-5 job at some point in your life, okay, weren't born with a silver spoon in your mouth, then there's a number. It's right at about $700. Something happens when something costs $700, you're like, I got to think about it. Okay, sometimes even $500, but $700, it's almost like an anxiety level comes up against you, and you got to get over that. Okay, you have to get over that in this industry if you want to ever get to where you want to be. Now, another concept, I'll say this a lot. What does this mean? Practice where you want to be, emphasizing want, not where you currently are. If you're like, well, Vinny, when I start, I'm only going to be on a trade with $2,500, so I'm not going to do that 10x thing. Here's what I will tell you as you go through our training program. If you can just trust me, I've been there, done that. This is like, you know, any other, for whatever reason, coaches in baseball, basketball, football, whatever, you have this trust level with your coach. If the coach tells you to go and, you know, slam into this, you know, immovable, whatever, what are those dummies called that you push down the deal in football? I played basketball and baseball, so I don't know what the thing's called, but, you know, I always thought that was the dumbest thing, like watching the guys go out there and like push it down the field, whatever. I don't know why y'all do that, okay? I don't know. I don't really care, honestly, but it feels like a backache, a back problem, and knee joint issues. You know, that's what it looks like to me. But there's a reason that you do that. But if you told your coach, I don't know, but I don't need to do that. Okay, well, I'm sure he has a reason why you need to be able to do that if you want to be good at the sport. Here's what I'm going to tell you. A lot of stuff around here, I'm going to tell you things to do that you're not going to understand why I tell you to do it. But I promise you here, this is not like your dummy pushing down the football field. I am telling you it's going to be good for you, okay? So if I tell you, trade 10x that 2,500, you're like, well, but I got to practice trading my size. No, you don't. It's like saying you got to practice penny poker with your friends before you go to Vegas. Are you going to play penny poker when you get to Vegas? No, of course not. You're like, oh no, I'm going to practice with my friends with like pennies. Okay, but when I get to the big tables and I'm rolling out hundreds, oh yeah, it's going to be great. No, it's not. You're going to freak out because you haven't seen the numbers. You got to practice with big numbers. Okay, add a 0 and play bigger. So this is my 10x rule. Whatever you think you need to be trading, 10x it in practice so that you see bigger numbers and you see the big numbers fluctuate so that you will know that it's possible to do more. Now, I'm exaggerating when I do the 10x, but that's the whole point. If I want to shove you from where you currently are, you're here wherever you've begun in your trading journey. And yes, you can get worse. You can follow ICT. You can, there's a lot of people that you can follow and get worse. Okay, you're like, well, I can't ever get worse. No, you can. You can get worse. You can practice the wrong things. I want to shove you this way, and I want to get you to here. You're like, well, I'm just going to get there in baby steps. I know. Everybody's like that. You're like, oh, I want to do it. I want to do it in baby steps. That's dumb. You're wasting your time. I'm here to speed up. The whole point of having a mentor is to speed up your process because I've been there, done that. You're trying to learn it on your own? Sure, go slow. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to push you here. It's why we have a boot camp too. I'm trying to go, I'm going to shove you out the door. Get there. Go all the way. 10x. Okay, yeah, sure. You're going to play maybe 2 times that or 3. It doesn't matter. I want you to practice 10x so that you see the numbers, psychologically program yourself to be able to have just a little hop to get to where you really want to be. You want to be a 6-figure trader? You want to be a 7-figure trader? You are not going to get there if you're practicing with your pennies. You've got to practice the size that you want to be. If you want to have a $10,000 day, then practice hitting $10,000 days. I'm going to repeat this again. If you want to make 10K a day, you have to practice making, guess how much? Well, it ain't 2K. You've got to practice where you want to be. You're not going to get there if you're like, well, I'll get there someday. So right now, I'm just going to trade my little $200 a day. When you get in practice, make $20,000 a day. Do you know how easy it is to make $200 a day when you've been practicing making 20K? Do you have any idea? Like psychologically, like right now, you're like, oh, I just gotta, I gotta, get my 200. It's pretty tough right now. Pfft, really? You're in the wrong industry. Okay, you want to make $200 easy. There's a lot of places, right? Uber Route's a great place to start. Phone up Amazon. Yeah, $200, no problem. You want to come here, this is a place where you're putting risk on the table. You need to be paid for your risk. When you play big, it is easy to go down and be small. It is not the other way around. You're playing small, it is hard to go up. You'll have this mental barrier, like I said, around $700. Okay, everybody freaks out in, you know, when you're like, oh, I'm down $700. If this is happening to you, then you have not been practicing big enough in your sim and your market replay. You've got to practice big numbers. I'm making myself clear. All right, I could go on and on about that forever. Trust me, there's a reason. Here's a 10x rule video on it. Let's move on. I got a lot to cover. Checklists and reminders. Pilots and doctors use them. Why shouldn't you? All right, checklists and reminders are essential for trading, helping to ensure adherence, blah, blah, blah. You need one, right? Let's talk about the no list. It is actually, in my opinion, more difficult to know when you should not be trading than it is to know when to trade. When a headshot, okay, I trade. Double cross, double move, I trade. DCR, I trade. When not to take that trade, that's actually harder. Let's talk about the psychological no list that I have that I would recommend you adopt and maybe add to it some of your own if you've got some others. Every trading day prior to any trading session, self-assessment should be performed using the no list. If one or more of these issues are present, it may be a good idea to just practice or study that day. No live trading today if I used to have this printed on my wall. I hand wrote the first one up on my wall. Did you stay up late last night? We've all been there. Were you upset with anyone last night? You got some things that are still on your mind. You know, your wife said something to you, your girlfriend, your boyfriend said something that's just, you want to get back into that argument. You're like, oh, I need the words to go. Don't trade. It's something weird that happens to you. If you're upset with somebody, go fix it first. All right. There's a biblical principle around this too. If you're coming to bear your gift and they're at the altar, remember that your brother has something against you. Go take care of the thing with your brother first and then come and offer your gift. I am telling you right now, you're coming into the market. Something is there that will hinder you from being able to be clear in your judgments and your decisions. It's a clarity thing. If you have been yelling at somebody or you're upset, don't trade. Make sense? Have you yelled at anyone yet today? Now, for me, y'all might not have as much a bigger problem as this as I do. Okay? Y'all don't have to deal with the trolls that I have to deal with and the idiots that I have to deal with online. Okay, no offense, but some of them are you. You're listening, I'm sure. Are you upset or frustrated about a family situation? Family situations are big ones. Let's be honest. Okay. You can pretend all day. You don't, family, well, it's distant. Okay. No, you care. If you had a frustrating situation with a family member, it's a no list. Are you sick? If you're not feeling well, listen, don't sit down at the desk. And if you're going to, please play extremely cautious. Take the absolute perfect play setup. Maybe turn on the Superstition Buster. Okay. Superstition Buster probably for all of these. Okay, because these are going to wreck you if you don't. Do you have 2 or more meetings in a day? This is back when I used to work. It was, okay, do I have 2 or more meetings scheduled that day that are going to interrupt? Like if I'm in the middle of a trade, am I going to get stuck on it? Now, a little less problematic today with Algobox because I'm not into a holding positions type of thing where I used to have to do that kind of nonsense because I was not a regular trader like everybody else before I finished out and built out. I don't want to say we're finished. We're still not finished. Algobox is a continuous improvement, but we didn't have anything close to what I had, what we have now. Pre-trade checklists. All right, there's your checklist here. Things like your internet connection, hardware, software. What day of the week is it? Cadence, time of day, news, macros. These are all things we've already covered here earlier today, so I'm just going to run through these quickly. You might want to have these checked off on your charts over there on the right. Contract dates, like contract rollovers, are important to know if there's going to be high volatility that week. Waves and ranges, you got those loaded up on your charts. Did we change the range? I always forget this one. This is a huge one for me. Like, Vinny, edit this morning. I was on the 29 from last week. And it's like, hey, Vinny, it's the 39 this week on the Dow. Oh, yeah. Make sure you update those. Your ATMs, how many times have I clicked and like, oh, I thought I had the ATM turned on, didn't have the ATM turned on. Make sure that's set up there in the morning. So just a quick checklist for all the stuff that we deal with all the time. Your NT8 sounds, got your music going, all that kind of stuff. So there's a nice little deal there you can print out. Timers. So you'll hear me use the ALEXA. I won't say it because it'll trigger all of ours all at the same time. But you know who she is, so I'll call out to her and tell her to set me an alarm for certain times. Things like, okay, I see a major news event coming up. I'll generally tell her to set me an alarm for 5 minutes before one of those news events. Trade nothing alone. You guys know what I mean. Would know nothing by itself. Okay, we're not just taking a cross, not just taking a dot all by itself. We want to look for confluence. If you're not having fun doing it, you're doing it wrong, okay? If you find yourself in a spot where you're like, dude, this is just not fun for me anymore, you're doing it wrong because it is never not fun to win. I am available to you. I am a mentor to you. If you need to reach out to me, I try to make myself as available as possible. Now, we may reach a size where I can't do that anymore, but over the years, I have had plenty of time to do it. On Mentorship Mondays, especially, I open up the microphones. You guys can come have a chat with me, and we will try to work through your stuff. Please do me a favor, though. If you want to take my time, help me use yours. Record your session, for crying out loud. How many people come to, oh, no, I don't record it. I'm like, I literally told you. It's like football players. Speaking of football, again, they record every game they have, and then they review the tape. And y'all are over here like, I don't need to review my tape. I don't need to do it. Football players do it. Why are you not doing it? Anyhow, you want to be you. You want to keep sucking at what you do. Go for it. Friday rules: early in, early out. A lot of reasons for that. You'll hear that as we go through. Broker on speed dial. Now, this doesn't apply if you're on trader funding programs because they don't have it. But if you are trading in a live broker, I usually tell you to put this right up there next to your significant other, your spouse, etc., on your phone so that you can just hit the button and memorize your most important account numbers so that you can call them up and hit up the trade desk and tell them, hey, I'm so-and-so, account number, blah, 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 blah. Please close all positions. Just get ready to say that. I talk about that in our videos. Just hitting on that one as we go through here. Stalking your trades. The short answer of this is I never want to be reactionary to my trades. I want to stalk them like I'm ready for it. I want to pounce on the trade. I'm never being like lollygagging around and then like, oh, look, it's an SCR. Should I take that right now? And click. By the time you do all of that, it's not happening. There is a nice video here on this that I would recommend you go through. The goal is to stalk the trade rather than react to it. That is the essentials of this section right here. Okay, I don't want to come down here and be surprised by a stalking situation, although here is a ready DD on double delta flagging. Now, these used to be more difficult to detect, but now I throw them right on the screen for you. So it literally will tell you, get ready, ready up. Go back to that section here. We already covered that, but a ready up is a great example of something that can help you get ready for the next play. Another one, SMLK timings. As you see the timing line of a large or a king timing, lining up and it's getting ready, so I should be able to be stalking that trade. I'm like, here it comes, price is moving like this and we're almost at king, 2 more bars, boom, okay, we're on king timing, I'm ready, and there's my enigma, cool, I'm going, boom, king timing. So the timing lines can help you get ready to stalk a situation and stalk a play versus reacting, being like, oh, is it on king timing? Oh, okay. Making that decision at that point where you're reacting to something on the chart is generally a bad idea. I'm trying to teach you how to be a great gamer playing the video game known as trading. Get ready for a play, looking at other time frames, looking for your play setup, executing on those. Let's see. Time. Yeah, we got time. Okay, let's watch this one.
What are the primary ways of filtering? I want to call this like a money shot filter. Is there a big X on the chart telling you?
This one's like 5 minutes.
Favorite thing?
Let's skip on this one here tonight. Go watch both of these. They are longer, but making sure you understand these. I think these are 2 important videos. Don't skip them. Watch those here after our session. Dr. Seuss entry techniques. As of right now, this is empty, but I do this in almost every live stream. Let's go over what this is. What is a Dr. Seuss entry? So I consider this an entry technique. There are several ways to use this. Let's go through a list of ways. So what does this mean? Confirmation before triggering. So I had a scenario like this earlier this morning. I see price coming up into an area. I see a red enigma show up. I was concerned that this could be a scenario where it could break through, and it kind of kept going up. And so rather than entering in as the enigma showed up, I waited for a Dr. Seuss entry. Now, in this case, the why it's Dr. Seuss, this has to do with a book called One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish. Got a red fish, we got a blue fish, okay, and they're generally swimming in opposite directions of each other because my bar colors are red and blue. Now, you may be using red and green, whatever your colors are. These are the opposing color scenarios here, all right? So, one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. In this case, because the bars are going to be blue, as price is coming up through into the enigma, coming up into it, I'm looking for the first bar that turns red. That right there is the Dr. Seuss entry. Now, this oftentimes lets me get better plays on entry points. Now, at the same time, sometimes you FOMO and you totally miss the play if you didn't initially get into it. But sometimes you can just feel it. You got Audiobox, or for whatever reason, you'll start to kind of get a feel for waiting for that play setup, or this may become part of your doctrine. You may just be like, I am a Dr. Seuss every single play. I'm going to wait till an Enigma confirms, and yes, I may miss out on some ticks on the entry, but I make up for it in my Dr. Seuss entries on the way in the position for a target on any one of my play setups. You could adopt that. You'll see me do that quite often. Let me scroll back here and let's go through a scenario like this one. So number one is waiting on a confirmation before triggering. So in an Enigma situation like this, I may wait until that Dr. Seuss entry shows up, and that would be right here on bar number 1. What does that mean? It's the first red bar after the recent blue bars, in the case where long bars are blue and down bars are red. Yours may be different, okay? Yours may be green, red, but you get the whole point. If I say Dr. Seuss in a live stream, I'm talking about, I'm going to Dr. Seuss entry this. I'm basically saying I'm going to enter in on the next pivot on the change of bar color, but I just say Seuss or Dr. Seuss, okay? So I'm entering in right there rather than when this showed up and the little red arrow popped in on a little Enigma and I'm entering in here. Oftentimes this can get me a better play setup. Now, not always, because sometimes I'm waiting on a Dr. Seuss and it may end up being down here. Okay, let's go through different scenarios. So that is scenario number 1, confirmation before triggering. Confirmation after triggering. In a scenario where we're coming up and I've got my little red Enigma, and I'm just using Enigmas as the example here tonight. It can be other things. So I got a red Enigma showing up here, and now again, sometimes like price will just rip right through one, and we'll end up getting a stop out if I were to enter in on auto on one of these scenarios. But if price does react off of my Enigma and starts to come down, and I might be like right about here, let's say I missed this part, whoops. So let's say price feels like it kind of took off without me. And I'm like, oh man, I missed that Enigma. The Enigma target is right down here, and it's like, oh man, it's almost there already, and I missed it. And hopefully I've already got my nerd and my arrow with me. So I'm like, oh, I missed that one. It reacted too quickly. I missed it for whatever reason. I can now Dr. Seuss on my play. What I will wait for is for price to kind of come up for me. Let's use our blue scenarios here. So I'm going to go blue, and as it comes, maybe it comes up like this, coming back up, hasn't hit its target yet. I've got, oh, this is going to be great. I might have a Dr. Seuss entry here. First bar shows up. What am I going to do? Dr. Seuss. Boom, right there. So now I can take this as my entry, and I'm looking for my target down below. That may seem pretty basic, but let's get a little more complicated. What happens if we get a red, but then all of a sudden we start printing some more blue bars? Happens. You will see me do this. You'll hear me say Seuss. Again, right here. Now, in this scenario, this is like DCAing. People will be like, oh, this looks just like DCAing. Yes, remember, we're going through different configurations. Right now, we're going through confirmation after triggering. I can enter in Dr. Seuss number 1, Dr. Seuss number 2. As I'm adding to my contract count, remember, average price is now going to be somewhere in the middle if these are equal contract counts. And then hopefully what we end up eventually seeing is a nice big set of red bars, and I can, anytime it pops up here, I could, enter in again as we get a down scenario right over here. Okay, sorry for my lack of drawing abilities, etc. Here, I'm going to, move on pretty quickly here and get through some more scenarios. Okay, now let's go through one where I've got a position, and I've got my favorite are these right here. When we get a multi-ready DD Titanic zone scenario, triple ready DDs in an area, prices come through this area, through all of those, and we're over here on the side, and I'm looking for traps. And at the same time, sometimes, you know how it is, sometimes these will come way, way up here, and I don't want to take all that heat. So oftentimes I will wait until some big confirmation, maybe an Enigma over here on the right, before we start getting some real red bar printing coming down this way, right? So now I'm like, oh, cool. It looks like we've got them. Looks like they had a big fat trap there. I think they're stuck. So I may start right about here going, rather than having taken all this heat, trying to get in just on a pure ready DD scenario, you will start to hear me say, all right, I'm going to Dr. Seuss now, as I've started to see this being confirmed. So after this ready DD has triggered, I'm going to be looking for opportunities to do the same thing on the Dr. Seuss scenarios. Okay, so I'm coming in here, I get a series of blues, I get the first red, I may add into a position like this. Now, oftentimes I will get some big bars in my direction after I've added a couple of times. Red, and I can add again as we go down, and you'll see me Dr. Seuss, Dr. Seuss, Dr. Seuss, all the way down when I'm looking for a giant target, particularly on a Titanic zone when I've got that 100 tick bag scenario, right? So rather than going all in at a scenario when I'm waiting on confirmations to go down that direction, I'm adding to my position. Now, along the way, you'll start to see me do half on, half off add, which is a very advanced technique, a whole video series around doing the half on, half off add. But if you see me in a live stream doing Dr. Seuss's, it basically means blue fish, blue bar, red bar, entry. That's going to the short side. Now, again, I'm a big bear guy, so I do the short side quite often, so you will see more blue to red than red to blue, but I do play it the other way as well. Now, I'd like to do a little better job on that here real quick here, and oftentimes we'll see big legs like this, and then I'll see blue, we come up, red, we come down, and then I get a blue coming up, and then I've got red coming down. Now then all of a sudden I get let's say that I get a red harmonic showing up. I'm sorry, a green harmonic. Green harmonic shows up when I'm trying to get short. This is an area where I'll pull half right here. This is where my half button comes in. Boom. I might take off half because I know, especially after a really juicy long leg, nice smooth long leg. I should probably have exaggerated this a little bit more because oftentimes I'll see that happen, and then what happens? Price still kind of starts to come up a little bit. You're like, oh man, you know, you could just eat all that heat, but if I've taken some off, now I'm looking over here, I want to be able to double on this. So sometimes on that first big leg move in, I'll wait till this makes two legs up, and then this Dr. Seuss is juicy, right? So now I get this one, and this one is where I will look to hit that double button right here. If I've taken off half, this Dr. Seuss, I may press the double button to add back to my position, looking to maximize the play. Now, as we come back down to this, don't get me started on, sometimes I will pull the whole position if I start to see, especially if I get some cross action or R2FAs coming in there on crosses, but I will look for the opportunity to bail on those exits. My main objective is really to hit that pivot twice, to maximize the play, to get as much juice out of that as I possibly can, and I will probably pull half here again, and then oftentimes a continuation. You would be surprised to see how much extra capital you are going to put down. So something that might have been a few $100s or maybe a couple thousand can turn into a $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 play, especially on these 100 tick bags off of a ready DD. You will see me do this a lot, running through a Dr. Seuss, continuing to move in the direction. Everybody knows about how to add to a position on DCA, okay? Dollar cost averaging, where you're going with the plays that are coming against you and you just add and you add. But you will see me do this a lot on Dr. Seuss's, where the play is going in my direction and I am adding to position and I'm using the Dr. Seuss technique. That is how I do it. And you'll see me do this a lot in live streams. Looking at what traders who try this that don't have algo bars, what they're missing out on, the stuff that's happening in between and underneath the bars, right? We already know about DCA, right? Call that one the kind of on the way. But in my direction, in the favor of the play. Is there another one for Dr. Seuss? Not really. It's basically adding in one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish, every bar color on the way. And then you get really tricky with half on, half off add, which you're going to go check an advanced level video for that. Watch my live streams. Again, you don't have to do this. It's not something you absolutely have to do, but you will see if you master this, your P&Ls are going to get larger. Okay, windfall rules. Let's talk about this. When you have a windfall win, there's psychologically, we all know this part, like you're getting super excited, you make some $10,000, $20,000 day, or who even knows, maybe for you, it's like you hit a $4,000 or $5,000 day, you are feeling on top of the world. That windfall rule applies to you. You hit a big day, you crushed it, the following day, just, you need to mentally prepare yourself. It's going to be hard for whatever reason. It could be, I feel like the market seems to have some mystical play, or maybe it's just me. Anybody else have this where you have your best day followed by your worst day? And this is a common thing. I have seen this theme over and over again. I used to think, like, when it happened a few times to me, I thought I was unique. No, I'm not. Come to find out, a lot of traders have this scenario. So I won't say invented, somebody else I'm sure has had it as well, but for me, call it the windfall rule. Okay, windfall rules. Either after a windfall day, A, number one, don't trade at all. 2, your mentality should be, dude, I owe the market. I took a lot from the market yesterday. I owe it back. It's like the market wants that money back. I literally say the term that if I made $10,000 today, I now owe the market $20,000, because the market doesn't just like its money back. It likes it back with monstrous interest. It is like a shark loan. Okay. It is like, yeah, I'll loan it to you, but you're going to owe me double tomorrow if you come in and play. Okay. Trade with fear. This is one of those weird things where I'm like, I would rather you play with fear and trepidation on a day after a windfall, or go sit out, go play a video game, sit, watch. Okay. Because there is something, everything is working against you. Your psychology is working against you. The market cadence is working against you. All kinds of things are working against you on a day after a windfall day, for whatever reason, many reasons along the way. Just remember this, that I told you about it, okay? If it happens to you, it probably will. Hopefully you can avoid it. Hopefully you'll be like, hey, I have this great mentor that told me if I had a windfall day. And if you just adhere to what I have said, and you are I am going to follow what the coach tells me to do, I think you're going to do quite well. But I get it. You probably won't one day, and you're going to feel this, and you're going to remember this lesson, I hope. Or if you've already experienced this, tell me down in the comments below. Tell me your situation. Like, on one day I had X, and then the next day I had Y, whatever that is. Tell me down in the comments. Encourage other people, or discourage them from trading on days after a windfall day. Scalp is the word on that second day. Come in there. If you were hitting some home run bags, you hit a couple 100 tickers the day before, maybe the next day come in and be like, I'm just going to scalp here today. I'm just going to add a little bit to the P&L pie. Don't let anything get away from you. Okay. Don't give it back. That's my main thing. After windfall day, here's a nice video around all of that. Tools of the trade. I'm not going to go into a lot of details on this because I covered this on day number 1, but you should know the tools of the trade and all the hotkeys that we talked about. We went over that on the first setup area, the G300S, of course, and talking about UPSs. There are videos all around this. Let me talk about the UPS here real quick, because we didn't really hit on this. You might think, oh, backup power supply. It's backup. It is not just backup. Hear me out. This is for smoothing out your power. If you're having problems with your PC and you're like, I can't figure out what it is, Vinny, it's this and that, and that's this. It's got to be Algobox. It's got to be something. And I'm like, why doesn't it happen on me or a lot of other people? Why are there so many other people? Like, if it is just the code, then it's you. It's something in your configuration. Computers are complicated, believe it or not. There's silicone involved. There's some organic matter in there. There is a lot of things going on. Not everybody's PCs are the same. CPU chips, if you go study how silicone wafers are presented and created, you'll understand. One of these is power spikes. You may not have clean power. What does that mean? All kinds of cities, especially now, are having all kinds of problems with this. Maybe it's because of AI. I don't even know. I got a whole conspiracy thing around all this, but you need clean power. The battery will make up for it. Okay, it's a whole sine wave principle. I'm not going to get into it all here tonight, but just listen to me. You need a UPS. Don't bark with me on it. Be like, oh, it stays on all the time. How do you know that your power is not like 120, 118, 120? Again, if you're in another country, you're not 110. Everybody's got different power consumptions and all that kind of stuff. Just get a UPS. All right, smooth out your power to avoid problems. Screenshots and recordings. Will you please do this for yourself? Yes, of course, it's for me. Yes, I love seeing your screenshots. Yes, of course, I love the bragging rights around. Why not do both? I have found that, when you do things for others, you provide value. Value comes back to you. When you give respect, you receive respect. When you do something for someone else, it comes back to you in many ways in life. And I'm going to ask you, for me, do this, but I'm also going to say for you. For crying out loud, because my whole goal is to actually help you. So by helping me to help you, you are helping you, but it's also helping me because that's my whole goal. I want you to be an amazing, awesome trader. I want that for you. So do this for me and do it for yourself. Take proper screenshots. Get a third-party screenshot utility. If I find you using a Windows screenshot utility, I will make you feel retarded. I will insult you to your face if I got the opportunity, because I do not understand the nonsense of the very basics of stuff. If you're sitting at a table, there's proper etiquette, okay? Do you sit at a table and not use a fork? Do you eat your steak without a fork? Do you pick it up in front of friends and family and just gnaw on it? You're a moron. That's what I feel like you're doing, coming into my room, sitting down at my table, and if I ask you to take a proper screenshot, use your napkin. Put your napkin in your lap, use a fork, use a knife while you're eating. And you're like, nah, this one's good. I brought a spork with me. It's a plastic spork. I'm like, we're eating steak tonight. Yeah, I'm going to use my spork. I'm like, you really shouldn't do that. I got a spork, man. Been using sporks forever. It won't crack. As soon as you dig into my stuff, it cracks. And I'm like, I told you. And you're like, but and your ego hurts. I will hurt your ego more. I promise. If I find you not using a third-party screenshot utility, just expect it. Don't cry about it. I will make you cry. It will be my goal to make you cry, because I've said it right here. You should have gotten through this video, and I've said it before. And I shouldn't have to ask you 3 times. Anyway, are we good? Cool. Now, it would be great if you could label them too. But hey, if you got a third-party utility and you can do it and you don't, I'll be okay with it. Okay, it's fine. As long as you got the napkin there. If you don't want to wipe your mouth, whatever, that's fine. Okay. But it would be great if you can label them, use a nice big bright font so everybody can read it. I've seen people post them and it's like, dude, you can't even read what you wrote. What's the point and the purpose? You know, look, get better at things. Get better. Like improve. Constantly improve. Look for ways to improve. Make them nice, and you'll thank yourself later. Okay. You'll want to look at your screenshots later. Screen recordings. Let's talk about screen recordings. If you're thinking, well, my PC can barely handle Algobox, I don't want to do this. And everybody's PC these days, if you are in the 20th century, you've got a lot of cores in your PC. You have plenty. You can record with OBS. OBS is a must. If you don't have OBS installed, install it. Now, I'm not going to beat you up as much as I am about a screenshot utility, because this one, okay, yes, this one requires effort, turns it on, all this kind of stuff like this, but OBS, record your sessions, for crying out loud. Okay. OBS has a neat little feature. If you want to get really crazy about it and go to the next level, it has a buffer feature. Look into the buffer feature, and you can set the buffer to 5 minutes if you want, which will basically continuously save recordings all the time, but it overwrites. It's a sliding window concept. So you got a little 5-minute window that's always constantly being recorded. My little recording button. Okay. So it's always recording a little 5-minute buffer if you've got it set to 5 minutes. Now, you have a little button. You set the little hotkey to save every 5 minutes, or reach over on OBS and be like, okay, I just took a trade, just completed out that trade, save. Now, just press save, and it will save that last 5 minutes. So even if you want to clip up your trades there. Now, some trades last longer than 5 minutes. I get it. So you may want to set this to like a 10-minute, however long your trades usually are. If you're a scalper and a quick trader, then maybe set it to 5. If you're a longer trader, then set it to whatever time your average time for your trades is, so that you can save those trades. If you don't think about it ahead of time, if you're like, well, I don't want let me show you how this can help. Why I'm saying that you can do this even on your PC is something called Process Lasso. Okay, get this Process Lasso tool. It's a third-party utility. There's a free version of it, and all you're going to do is split your OBS onto its own cores, put it on your efficiency cores, on your E cores, and put your NinjaTrader on your performance cores. I have a whole video around this. Just like write this down, just go do this. But OBS can run in separate cores that won't interfere with NinjaTrader in the slightest. You put NinjaTrader in high priority. Just go through my video on this, and trust me, you won't regret it. And watching yourself, you can critique yourself. Like you go, well, I think I did this thing earlier today. It's not good enough. I promise you, your brain is not good enough. No one's is. Mine's not. Yours isn't. Record it. Record it for yourself. There's OBS. There's a whole layout. We have Process Lasso. We'll walk you through how to do that. Do it for yourself. You'll become a better trader by recording yourself. Okay. Lance Bernstein talks about doing it. Hear it from somebody else who, claims to be the best. Lance, the one Lance B. He's got the one Lance B website. You want to go follow him? Please go follow him. Great. He has no tools. He has no system, but he tells himself that he's a great gamer and he trades the markets like a video game. A lot of our stuff that we talk about coincides, but he's playing a video game without the cheat. Okay. And he's charging you literally 5 times as much as I charge you. But yeah, go pay him. Screen recordings, we talked about that. Examples, blah, blah, blah. The trade copier. If you're using trader funding programs, you're probably familiar with one of these. Or if this is your first time involved with them, a trade copier. What is that? This is a little utility that is going to allow you to copy trade from one account. Whatever trade you take in one account, it can be applied in other accounts. Now, there are super complicated apps out there that let you do all kinds of fancy stuff. They are bloated, they are slow, they will cause you problems. In my opinion, I would not use anything other than the Algobox trade copier. That is just me personally. I saw somebody yesterday using stupid Replicanto. Don't even get me started. You're like, oh, I don't know why I've got problems on my PC. Every time I press the position button, it's going all wacky. Like, wow. I don't know why sometimes my trades are, oh, maybe it's Algobox. Maybe it's Replicanto. You want a good one? Use ours. It's native, it's quick, it's fast, it's light, it's nimble, it's quick. If you want to trade up to 20 accounts, you can have a leader account and then follower accounts, up to 20 accounts. So you can even set this to a sim account and then copy it over to as many accounts as you want. Now, Apex is notorious for being able to do, I say notorious, that's a bad word for it. They are famous for allowing traders to trade up to 20 accounts. That is pretty awesome. So I'm a big fanboy of Apex, okay? And they're super techy. And I know people go back and forth on their old opinions on all the trader funding programs. Everybody's got their favorite, blah, blah, blah. I'm still an Apex fanboy. Until further notice, I don't see anybody else being able to... Trading 20 accounts? Are you kidding me? Like $200. When is $200 $4,000? Only with 20 times, you know, it's crazy the level that you can do. Like stalk one single trade, get $200. Every $200 is $4,000. Where else can you do that? Apex, yeah, and trade copy. Pretty easy. Go into your settings, and up there at the top it says copy from this account. So whatever you want to use as your main leader account, and then duplicate to account 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20, as many as you want. How to add it to a chart. It's just it's implemented as an indicator. So just look for Algobox _ trade copier. Add it to a chart. It'll have a little gear icon next to the trading area. There it is. So over on next to your buttons, you'll see this trade copier. And if you want to turn it on, click the button. And when it's green, that means it's copying. If it's gray, it's not copying. You want to hit the little gear icon thing or the little tool button right there. That'll go into the settings so you can change your account information and all of that on your chart. Any questions around a trade copier? Check out the video on that one. We got a lot to cover here still, so let's move on forward. PC performance. We are using technology to the nth degree, and you need to have a PC that is running at its top performance, just like a video gamer. People who come here all the time be like, well, I don't know why I have to do this with your product. I don't have to do it with other products, because other products suck. Art, love you, but your other products suck. Well, yours is bloated and has some... Dude, greatness takes effort, and you just need to speed up your PC. So all I'm asking you to do is please, yes, turn off your antivirus protection, turn off your bloatware, turn off your constant scanning setting, blah, 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 blah. Turn off your overhead extra RAM protection, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff. Just go through our performance video. I feel like I'm sounding very negative here tonight. I need to change my tone. Let me pop it back up here. Here we go. Everything's fine. Everybody's cool. It's all good. Just please turn on the proper power settings. Make sure that you've got performance mode turned on, because that's going to be one that's going to impact you on your PC. A lot of places are going to turn this down by default, especially if you're in California. They will slow down your PC, so make sure you've got the ultimate performance turned on. All of the examples are right here, and our tech support is awesome. They will help you out if you're having any issues. They're way nicer than I am, thank goodness. And turn off Microsoft OneDrive, for crying out loud. People are like, wow, why do I have to do that? Okay, well, what I would suggest for you to do, if you really need OneDrive and these other types of stuff, have a separate profile on your PC. Specifically for trading, so that you got a nice clean profile that's dedicated to trading. You want to have your OneDrive on your other profile, fantastic. Just don't have it running while you're running with our system. It's gonna speed things up. If you're like, well, I turn it off during the thing, just trust me, there is a caching situation that's going on in the back end. We have seen it repetitively. Even though they tell you it's not doing anything, it's doing stuff on the back end. You don't want it on. So turn it off, uninstall it, don't use it. OneDrive applies to the same thing if you've got the Google Drive sync Some people are like, oh, I've got this issue. What's happening? What goes on is the way that a local PC works. So people are like, why don't I have this problem with TradingView? Well, because TradingView is run in a browser and it's terrible. And it's all centralized into a server thing. And you think servers are fast. They're not. When you've got a bunch of people on them, it's not great. You want decentralized processing, but then you need your decentralized processing to happen fast. And you don't want your hard drive to hinder it. We are sending tons of data, not by we, NinjaTrader and trading in general. It's 3 columns wide. It's very narrow data, but it needs to move very fast, and it writes a lot of files to your PC hard drive, which drives antivirus programs nuts. Every time a file is written, edited, updated, or deleted, removed, added, it wants to scan and halt and scan and halt and scan and halt and scan and halt. You do not want that happening. You also don't want that being cached into a OneDrive situation where it's trying to sync any of that information. Windows security, you need to turn down a lot of these settings. Just please go through all these settings. Overclocking your CPU, if you want to overclock, go to town on it. Now, I can't tell you to overclock, but our load is very overclockable because it's very spiky, right? We have markets move really fast and then they slow down. It's not like a PC game where it's nonstop constantly and, you know, overclocking has problems on loads. This is a type of load that is going to be very, kind and compatible with most overclockings. This will teach you how to reset your sim accounts or your market replay accounts, enabling your hotkeys. One thing, if you are going through the hotkeys area that is not in the little options there, you do have to come into your options in NinjaTrader and select this option right here that says use order entry hotkeys. Just know that that is a setting that you'll need to do if you are going through and setting up hotkeys. There's a little option in there that you might miss. Let's talk about how to start your NinjaTrader every single time. Now, we talked about this, I believe, in our day 1 series, but let's just tap it one more time. This is a very important file on your PC. In your NinjaTrader folder, if you've installed our system, it says Algobox new clean high priority startup. It does exactly what it says it does. It will clean your cache directories out. It will set your Algobox to high priority and get you launched in probably the best way. I think you should run this bat file every time you launch NinjaTrader. I do every single morning, every day. It's not like, oh, sometimes I do it, whatever. On occasion, I'll do the clean out of a database, but this is not a database clean out. This is a folder clean out for data cache for your candles. So run this every single time. You'll be happy that you do. Here is where it's located in your NinjaTrader 8 folder. It looks like that right there. Just double click it and it will actually launch NinjaTrader for you, and it will do all the cleanup and all of that for you. Run it a couple times, you'll become familiar with it. Turn off the Lone in Vegas settings. Oh, the internal jokes are so fun. Resetting your database, you don't need to do this unless somebody kind of tells you to do it, but on a random occasion, you may want to clean up your database. If you got a lot of trades get in there, the file's getting large, you'll want to be able to know how to do this. And oftentimes NinjaTrader will direct you to do this, or one of our tech supports will do that if your file size is getting too large and you're having some performance issues. Here are several videos. I would just basically walk through these videos. I went through some of the stuff here really quick, but here is that process lasso video that I was telling you about. And there's also another one called Quick CPU that will also help you boost your power and make sure that none of your CPU processors are getting parking. You do not want any parking going on your cores. You don't want core parking at all. So run Quick CPU. That will help you to bypass that. NinjaTrader, we hit in on a lot of the NinjaTrader settings. The main stuff here that you want to know is version. Sometimes NinjaTrader puts out a new version and it may have some compatibility issues, or they've got some errors on it. Even like right now, as of this date, we want people to stay on 8.1.3.1. They had 8.1.4.1 that had some issues. I think they've gone to 4.2 now. We have not had a full chance to fully vet that out and QA it. But I believe 4.2, they've probably solved the problems. 4.2 is probably fine right now, but if you're wanting to know what we are currently supporting, if you're inside of our Discord on the left-hand side, it's under tech support. So the recommended NinjaTrader version will be right in here, and so you'll hear something like this in the chat. We do not recommend using the latest version of NinjaTrader. They have issues. Please use version 8.1.3.1 only at this time. And we put that out about a month and a half ago or so when they put out their most recent release. That may have been cleaned up right now, but if you're ever wondering what version that we've vetted, it will be right there under the tech support area. Hotkeys, we went over this on day 1, so I'm not going to go over these again. Go check out the hotkeys video. Under NinjaTrader sounds, there is one key setting in here under the sounds section for play consecutively. So if you want everything to just kind of run all at once, basically keep this unselected, I think it's just better. In general, if you're wondering, hey, I think I'm missing out on some sounds, you may want to play that, click that play consecutively on your folder there. I don't think we have to care about sounds. If you want to customize your sounds, this is showing you where you can go and put your own custom sounds. If you want to put extra sounds, it's in the NinjaTrader 8 sounds folder, and you'll probably get it right. We've got a bunch of wave files in here, and you can put your own in there and then select your own file, going to the sound setting. There's a video around sound and some tricks and tips around some of that. There's PC performance and then there's trade performance. So trade performance is your reporting mechanism. You'll need to become familiar with this. Click on new, trade performance, and this is going to give you details about your stats. So if you ever see us in the live streams there where we're pulling this up here, it is just clicking on new, performance, and so this is your default view where you'll see the summary where you kind of see the numbers and stats. But if you like the graphical layout like this, then you're going to click on analysis. So hit the drop down here under display, and when you click that, select analysis, and then that's going to show you the cool pretty graph like this. Now by default it's going to be set to daily, and what you want to do is select trades. If you want to see trade over trade intraday so that you see nice, the hills both directions, this is important right here. This is all you need to know. Just set that period to trades, put that in your notes, and that will give you that nice pretty green line. And hopefully it doesn't look like this one, but if you want to, I guess he's showing only losers, showing only winners. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but lots of options in there under the trade performance, but you need to know how to select trades is the main thing. Opening up your indicators, I think everybody already knows this one, how to go in and change settings on your indicators. We've been through that this entire time on every strategy, but Control-I is the short key for that. Right click, select indicators, and you can change any of the properties on all of our stuff, and we've gone over that on every little section that we've been in there last few days here. Market replay. So very awesome feature inside of NinjaTrader for you to, it's better than my Giphy that won't expand for me. Market replay is also known as market playback. We did talk about that briefly. There is a direct correlation between the amount of time spent in market replay and the size of your P&L. That is 100% true. I have seen that so many times. The people who spend the most time in market replay have the largest sized P&Ls. Notorious, over and over again. See it every single time. How to start market replay? It is called playback. So it's a connection on your control center. If you click connections and hit playback, and then you'll get a little player, and you can stop and go and play in the markets at basically any time you want. Now, I talked about before how you can go and download data, and you can actually insert these into your folder. There's a whole video on doing the small account challenge where you put those files, but this is what allows you to go to the certain dates that you have downloaded, and it's pretty straightforward. A lot of videos out there on how to do market replay. The big thing that I want you to know is being able to increase your trade size. Your trade speed. In general, I want to do 10x. I want to practice at 10x speed. I want to practice 10x size. It's our whole 10x rule that I talk about on the regular. If you want to get really good at trading, I think you should play at 10x. Also, when you are doing market replay, one of the keys, I need you to pay attention to this part right here. Just remember this. You're going to be like, why did he say this? You'll remember 1 1 1 1 1, 2 2 2 2 2, 3 3 3 3 3, 4 4 4 4 4, 5 5 5 5 5. Hopefully that confuses you if you're brand new with us. If you've been around a while, you know what I'm talking about. I want you to do this versus doing this in your practice. If you are going to practice and get good, if you want to get good, this is how you get good. Now, if you want to suck, you want to be like ICT student, okay, don't do this. Don't just go and go, okay, I'm playing market replay. There's my trade number one. It was, I got an Enigma. This next one, trade number two, it was a double cross, double move. This next one, I got an HMD. This next one, I got a double dot. This next one, I got a PRZ cross. Okay, well, what was your third trade? You have to look back. I don't remember. Oh, it was a HMD. That means it didn't lock in with you. It means it's not stuck. What I want to do is this first play on Enigma, I want to take that first play and I want to press rewind on market replay. Go into the player, rewind it, play it again, play it 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maximize it. Do the absolute best. Don't try to trick yourself. Everybody keeps thinking, oh, I gotta trick myself. I gotta not know what it is. It needs to surprise me because then I'm getting real good practice. No. Baseball player. You want to tell a baseball player who goes into the batting cages, oh, well, we don't know if you're practicing. I know you want to practice the curveball, but in and amongst the curveballs, I'm going to throw a sidewinder, and I'm going to throw a fastball, and I'm going to throw a lob, and I'm going to throw, no, you don't. You go into the batting cages and it continuously throws you curveballs over and over and over and over. And you get good at hitting the curveball by hitting a lot of curveballs back to back to back to back to back, not being surprised because that's what happens in the game. In the game, the pitcher is going to try to throw you off. It's going to throw something random at you. But when you've seen it a bunch of times, that's how you get good. Does that make sense? So I'm going to do the Enigma 5 times. Then I'm going to do that double cross, double move. I'm going to play it 5 times. I'm going to play the HMD 5 times. Now, you're going to do the advanced level things. On the double cross, double move, can't you play the GLR? Yes. So maximize it so that you play both. Play the double cross, double move entry. Do a retry. Do the 2 try rule. Hit the GLR. Do it. Do it 5 times. Get really good. Be a boss level at the double cross, double move. If you do this, you will get better. This is being surprised. Okay. My whole thing is like, while you're doing market replay, don't be surprised. And it doesn't mean what you think it is. Like, oh, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised at what? Don't try to surprise yourself. Don't try to be clever. Don't try to be, I get this, right? 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5. Okay. And you're like, Vinny, I've never heard anybody do something so stupid. I know. That's why it works. How to go to a particular date. This is important. So if you want to go to a date, this is probably the most unintuitive thing about market replay and what I call, well, I'm used to calling it market replay. So if you hear me say market replay, please forgive me. They now call it playback. I've been around NinjaTrader for forever. And all the way back to the 6.5 and 7.0 days, they used to call it market replay. So it's hard for me to switch and to say play. This little area though, I wish they had a button for it, like a go-to somewhere on here. It just feels weird, but you literally right click anywhere in this area, right click it. And that's how it gives you the option to go to for a time. If you're like, how do I go to the time of day? This is the only way. Please tell a friend because you're going to forget. Like inevitably after this video, you're going to forget and you're going to be wasting your time trying to do stuff. Watch this little Giphy right here. Right click, go to. See it happen really fast. This Giphy's it's not doing you any justice. But if you pay very close attention, watch. There's the mount, right click, go to. That's it. It's right click, go to. Okay, then you get this go to because you're like, how do I get the go to so that I can go to a time of day? Because like you want to go to 9 a.m., right? You don't want to start this at midnight. It always starts at midnight. You want to go to 9 a.m. so you can start playing the market open every day. And you're like, Vinny told me to do 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. This is going to take me 5 hours because I'm waiting for the time clock to go to where I need it to go. No, everybody type in the chat, right click, go to. Type it, right click, go to. Tell a friend because everybody doesn't know about this. I still remember like when I first got this thing, I didn't know that I could do that for the longest time. So I remember when somebody showed me, I was like, I was kind of angry about it. I was like, this is so not intuitive as a coder and a person who like my QA teams or my project manager might even do his job and be like, this is not intuitive. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Get in there and do that. Of course, I wouldn't do this to begin with. Like, I don't know what dumbass developer thought this is okay. Sorry, NinjaTrader, don't be mad at me. But I'm like, that's the dumbest crap I've ever seen. From a software developer, are you telling, oh, it's super intuitive. Just right click the area. Why don't you put a button there? It says go to or time. Click a time button, something. What are y'all doing to people? Y'all just want to torture people or add to your tech support calls. Actually, people don't even know. That's why y'all keep getting away with it because nobody calls in on this because they don't even know it exists. I didn't know it existed. I didn't even know you could do it. Yeah. All right. Going off myself. I've got more soapboxes than you have soap in your life. I promise. So forgive me. I'm not perfect like you and Jesus. Okay. I am an imperfect, infallible human being. Or fallible? Infallible? You know what I'm saying. All right, fallible. So why buy NinjaTrader? The free version, you pay more. The monthly version, you pay less. Lifetime, you pay even less. That's the short answer of their commission structure. They can change this at any time. I'm not speaking for NinjaTrader, just giving you basic guidelines on if you're trading live accounts with NinjaTrader. As your brokerage, your commissions will be less if you're using them. It's 5 times. You should remember it now. There you go. Right click, go to. Right click, go to. Tell a friend. Steps for managing commissions. I bet you could like, so you go to some NinjaTrader Pro, somebody's like been around a while, and be like, hey, I bet you don't know how to do this. Do you know how to go to time on your thing, or do you press 100x to get it to where you go? And they'll be like, oh no, I just press 100x and I wait for it. Well, did you know about the go-to feature? Yeah, because nobody, like hardly anybody knows about it. Now y'all are probably like, Vinny, I've known it forever. Okay. Commissions templates. So some people have asked, if you go to the performance window, this does not show up by default. If you want your commissions to show up on your reporting, you go into your settings, and this basically walks you through how to do that. It's not a big deal, but if you want to add them, you just go into the settings, and this will walk you through how to add those. And this will, you have to select this to tell them, like, if you want it to be exact, then you have to select whether you are on free or lifetime or monthly. And if you don't know, then you might be on a trader funding program, and you need to ask them, and you can put in your commissions if you want to. If you just want to be absolutely precise on all your reporting, whatnot, you want to add in to be down to the penny. You don't want an estimate. You can put in your commissions on what they are, and then they will calculate for you. Kind of a pain to go in and set these up. NinjaTrader has them set up by default for their own, for NinjaTrader and Tradevate. But if you have something external like Interactive Brokers, if you're in Canada using Interactive Brokers, which is fairly popular there in Canada, then you may need to set those commissions manually. This has a whole layout on how you do that in the interface, and how you can set that even if you want like your sim accounts to also show commissions. You can do that by going in and editing the account and selecting right here, like it's showing. You can right click the account and then go and select what you want your commission template to be, that you may have already set up. And also in Playback. So that was a scenario where if you want to do it in Market Replay, you want it to calculate there as well. You can set that and say daily loss limit. This is pretty handy. Now NinjaTrader has one internally, but if you want to set your own for a daily loss limit, this is basically how you do that. Go into your settings you need to log into the website. This is not in the interface. So that's the biggest thing you need to know. Daily loss limit is not local on your software installed local. You'll need to log into your NinjaTrader account on their website to go to these settings. It's under risk settings, under the button right there, and you can probably find your way the rest of the way. If you want to set a daily loss limit for like, okay, I want to max lose $2,500, then you can set that and it will automatically close your position if it goes against you, whatever you want to set. Multiple PCs. People ask this all the time. Can I get a secondary license? So our system is very inexpensive, and it is per machine. If you are professional and you're a hedge fund or you are trading other people's capital, you do need to contact us for professional licensing. You cannot use a personal license with us. You will need to contact us and talk about like what your use case is, what your AUM, assets under management, how much money you're going to be trading for other people, etc. For professional licensing, this is for personal use only in general. Or you need to contact us so that we can talk about professional licensing for you and your group, or for you if you are trading other people's capital. We have found Chrome desktop is pretty neat for people who are like, hey, well, I don't want to pay for a second license, because if you do want a second license, you don't have to pay for a full license. There is a discount if you are a gold member or lifetime member. There's a discounted offer, so just contact us if you want to get a secondary license, and we do have a discounted offer for you. If you are a gold member and you want a second PC, we can absolutely do that. However, this is showing you that some people will keep their home PC on, because people are like, well, at my work, I want to install it at my work PC or on my work laptop. You can set up remote desktop through the Chrome remote desktop. Works. I've seen people use TeamViewer, as long as you're, don't want to get in trouble, at your work. If you're, working somewhere and they've got, firewall protections and stuff, they may not let TeamViewer through and those type of things, or any of these. But if it's an option for you, it may be something you may want to do. VPSs, we do support VPSs. In general, I will tell you that they're slower. You can buy a relatively inexpensive gaming PC and it's going to be better than the VPSs. They give you a lot of cores, but they give you slow cores. These are generally running like 2.4 to 2.8 gigahertz. You're not going to be able to use Algobox to its max. Generally on VPSs, they will work in a basic configuration, single instrument, 5 charts, no problem. You want to start doing any fancy stuff though, the VPS is probably going to struggle. So just wanted to take a note on that. We do support it, but you may have to turn your stuff down. Discord, we went over a lot of stuff on Discord. These are the basics on how to kind of get around, how to search for things, search functionalities. If you want to go into the announcements, this is an important area. where we are putting things all the time. So please familiarize yourself with the announcements. They will normally kind of ping the premium and the public area. But if you've been away for a while, go check out that announcements area for anything important that you might have missed. The tools area, I think everybody's pretty familiar with how to get to MACV Ultimate. We talked about that. The testimonials area, I think, has been renamed to, I can't remember. But anyhow, if you want to see a bunch of the performance reports from folks, those are there. Third-party track records, newsroom, premium members only, all the good stuff about Discord. Yeah, skim through here, become very familiar. I think that you should really familiar with Discord. It's our easiest way to communicate with the crew, keeping up to date with stuff, getting in contact with me, sharing screenshots, keeping yourself accountable. Lots of reasons to be inside of Discord. Install it on your phone as well so that you always have connectivity on it. I think it would be important to do that. I've experienced latency with Chrome desktop. Has anyone found something better? You can't say it's Chrome desktop. It's probably something at, it's your internet. There's so many things inside of that. I use Chrome Remote Desktop with no problems whatsoever. So while you may have had that problem, it could have been your internet, your wireless. You're trying to do it from a phone. You're trying to do it from wherever you are. You can't just say that Chrome Remote Desktop has latency issues. So, all right. So the 40 questions, make sure that you can answer all these. This is your goal here tonight, is to be able to answer all 40 questions in the question section. Now, if you're like me and you get, you're old and we stress out about tests these days, it's okay. There's an answer key. We're not trying to hide it from you. I just want you to learn it. And if you're like me, if I miss a question, I'm never going to miss it again. So go through, answer the questions to the best of your ability. And if there's a question that you don't know the answer to, just right here, here's the answers. Okay. So there is an answer key right there. We're not going to grade you or, slam you for not knowing the answers. But we've got all the answers there for you. If you get tripped up on something, they do get progressively more difficult. And so, yeah, there you go. If you are using code Algobox for Apex particularly, or in the future, if there are other trader funding programs, if you use code Algobox, you're going to get a discount on Algobox right now. Today is technically the last day, but it's not Friday. So this Friday will be the last day to get the awesome reboot camp offer, and then the price, you want to get in before the first. The first is Thursday. It would be the second this week on Friday. On Saturday, we'll update the website, and that reboot camp offer will no longer be available. So we do have to up the prices. I apologize, but at the price that it's at right now, come on. It's pretty crazy what we're doing there. So the price will go up on Friday. Make sure you take advantage of that if that is something you want to get a hold of. So the best time is to get it during this pre-launch event. The second best time is during a 2-week free trial. So if you are watching us and doing the 2-week free trial right now with us, you are going to get a special discount offer. You should be receiving that in your email campaign. If you didn't receive one, just reply the word deal to any of the emails that you're receiving on the email campaign for your 2-week free trial. Just write deal and hit reply, hit deal, and then you'll receive an email back with the best offer that you can get. It will beat even the Black Friday offer, but it's only available while you're doing our 2-week free trial. Hopefully you are doing our 7-day boot camp, and then you got 7 days to practice with us, which, speaking of practice, the way I want you to practice, make sure you get the system all installed, just like we walked through on our 7-day boot camp here. You should know everything now. The next 7 days, you should be spending going into our live streams in the morning with us. We sometimes have afternoon live streams as well, but make sure that you are following along. We got Mentorship Mondays on Monday. We book in the week with advanced level stuff on Full Auto Fridays. Come bring your questions. We'll do open mic on Mondays. And of course, if you're having any issues, reach out into the public chat in Discord, or you can reach us there on our website. There's a telephone number at the bottom of the website as well. Thanks for hanging out here tonight. That is our finale. Thanks for being a part of our Reboot Camp 2025. I'm Vinny, and for me, Pippi, Robbie, Lunchbot, Mod Squad, Curtis, G, and Eddie B, I am sending out of the big H-Town. See ya. Art team, show them how it's done.
The old adage where, the individual investor doesn't have a chance because the institutional investor has better technology, better information, and, more money and better opportunity, I don't think it's real anymore. I think the edge is on the individual investor because they're small, they're nimble, they can trade, they can use, they have front-end technology.
Don't waste your time. Leave the technical analysis to us. You just play the game.
Forex is littered with crooks, black hat guys, all this kind of shifty characters and companies trying to extract money from your pocket and stick it into theirs. And one of the things that they do is operate these Forex signals.
Delta 5 rating. Long. Look for long. Harmonic pattern. Pick up. One down on freeze. Order filled.